It's more than just coincidence. You look around and see the earth, the moon, the sun and the sky, a beautiful creation of Allah. So how could you deny?
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar. How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our show, The Philosophy of the Islamic Law. I am Ahmed Ragab, and we would like to welcome Professor Muhammad Naeem Saie, a recognized Muslim scholar, philosopher, and thinker. Thank you for being with us. Professor Muhammad, last time you were talking about that Islam is beautiful by itself.
Alhamdulillah.
And the Islamic law is so beautiful, and that people, if they look at it, they will recognize that it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even though that some Muslim, when they talk about Islam and make da'wah overseas, especially in the West, they try to beautify Islam and the Islamic law. Why do you think they do this?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Rasulullah wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما علمتنا وزدنا من لدنك علما اجعل هذا خالصا لوجهك الكريم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. What I can say in that regard, some of these practice could be because of the shortage of knowledge of this Islam. But always when someone does not know the value of the merchandise he has, and he is not able even to look for it or to get the real meaning of it, he cannot talk about it in a correct, and accurate, and a good way. So, shortage of knowledge first. But more than that, I believe it is something regarding nation has been lowered by itself and by others after being ahead of the whole nations, psychologically, sociologically, as philosophers and people of the sense of social studies. They say, Ibn Khaldun, one of them, the whole nation, if you come a backward nation because of many factors, the people of this nation will react to its weakness, its backward, its ignorance, without even feeling it. So feeling that you are part of this indicted ummah, feeling of being part of the ummah needs to beautify itself before she is able to talk about its deen and religion. That will bring these people, unfortunately and unwillingly, to feel that they are so weak, they don't have good merchandise, good stuff. So they said the best way, they have a good intention, is to try to beautify this deen so might be accepted or acceptable, might be appeal to others. So this is the main two reasons: shortage of knowledge, ignorance, and being part of this ummah, backward ummah, ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
Would you please give us some examples of the things that they try to beautify it to the others?
Just very quick example. If these people, they know exactly what the Islamic law regarding a Muslim woman, hijab or veil, covering her body when she leaves her house to get some of her need outside, maybe to work, to study, sell and buy, which Islam allowed her to do all of this. They believe because they don't have enough knowledge about the rules, Islamic law rules regarding Muslim woman hijab or veil, that she's not able to announce this kind of part of the Islamic law to others unless she is trying to beautify the hijab by itself. So regular hijab, plain hijab does not work with these people. So they have to beautify the hijab itself by putting some makeup, by trying to make that hijab fit and match maybe the most modern fashion. So when she is walking outside, as if that she is not wearing the hijab Islam did mean, so she is trying to manipulate, fake herself, fake others, because she has no trust and belief in what she is believing in. She does not have that trust and belief in what she is practicing in front of the others. She is trying just to try to make a combination of following the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pleasing Him Azza wa Jal, by just shaping herself with that hijab, but by evacuating the meanings of the hijab, by pleasing others, of going and matching what they like to see, what they could be pleased to see on this Muslim lady. So this is a very quick example about beautification. So we say to these people, sister, brothers, you don't have to do it this way. Hijab by itself is so beautiful. Wallahi alladhi la ilaha illa hu. Hijab by itself is so honorable.
Yes.
Hijab by itself is so noble. And I did meet a lot of people in the West. When they see your wife, or my daughter, by just plain hijab, regular one, no beautification, they admire that. They cannot but to express their likeness, their happiness, their acceptance. And when they talk to you, why your wife is wearing these kind of clothes, they said, because of 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, it does make sense. Because Islam by itself, as I said the other episode, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in it, equipped by enough power, enough energy, enough beauty to appeal to others, to come to the surface of it and say, I am not a man-made, I am a God-made.
And this is exactly what you mentioned is what is the meaning of the philosophy of the Islamic law. Because if she wear hijab and at the same time put makeup or wear makeup, that defeats the purpose of the philosophy of the Islamic law here, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly, because what comes with us when we talk about in details about women issues in Islamic law, we talk about the hijab and difference between hijab and niqab. We talk about all these issues in details, inshallah. But this is a very quick example about what do you mean by beautification and why Muslims are doing this.
MashaAllah. Now, from what you say, are you going to be a defender of the Islamic law? Are you going, is this episode or this show in general, it would be a way to defend Islam, or a way to defend the Islamic law? What do you think?
We have to say very strongly and very gently at the same time, we are not indicted ummah. We are not accused ummah. From within ourselves, what does happen sometimes, that someone talk about Islam or on behalf of Islamic law, he believes inside himself that we have something wrong, we have to correct it. Or we are accused people, so we have to take it off. So we have to defend ourselves, we have to defend our Islam. I say to these people, and we'll see it through this episode, inshallah ta'ala, Islam does have nothing to be accused of. Simply, it is from the Creator. No one is able to make that kind of law but Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one even able to compete with this law, because being made by the same one who created these people, He knows subhanahu wa ta'ala what is good for them, what is bad to them. So we're not going to be the defenders. We'll be just being the representative, the presenters. The people are marketing for this deen, inshallah ta'ala. The callers for this Islam in a very wise, scientific, gentle way. So they are able, inshallah ta'ala, to see the beauty and the greatness Allah has put in His law subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that will bring people at least to listen, at least to see what do we have in this great fortune of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
SubhanAllah. So from this show, we will educate, you will educate people, the Muslims and the non-Muslims as well, about the Islam, about the Islamic law, so they will have a better understanding and to be attracted to know more about Islam and the Islamic law. We are not here to defend the word Sharia, to defend the Islamic law or beautify it or anything like that.
Yes, exactly.
MashaAllah. So now you have mentioned, from what you have mentioned, can we say that what you are trying to do, because we talked about the philosophy of the Islamic law, the concept of the Islamic law, and the thoughts behind it, are you trying to restore the correct understanding of Islam and the Islamic law through this show, or what you are trying to do? I want our viewers to share with us our goals.
MashaAllah. Well, I'll be honored, inshallah ta'ala, to be participating with all Muslims in this world of bringing the correct understanding of this deen. And as we mentioned the other occasion, our mission as every Muslim should be, inshallah ta'ala, part of this mission and part of this noble project to renew and revive al-Islam. You cannot revive al-Islam and renew it unless you bring back and restore the Islamic thought, the correct Islamic understanding for this deen. And no one is able to bring that understanding to Islam unless he is able to understand Islam by itself. When we see some kind of misunderstanding of the Islamic thought, or maybe some kind of a new shape of Islamic thought, some modernized Islamic thought, that came from two things: ignoring, shortage of knowledge about the Islamic law itself, the Islamic issues, Islamic law issues, and the meanings, the mysteries, the goals, the aims of these Islamic law issues. Just very quick example, that everyone is afraid and very sensitive to talk about the issue of jihad, right?
Yes.
To become jihad like a code. If someone brings the word of jihad, he is bringing trouble to himself. He is bringing trouble to his religion, bringing trouble to his maybe followers. And as we said, we'll talk in this episode in a very gentle, scientific, wise way. Would be relaxed, would not be affected by any kind of different wave or impression or belief. Our goal is to help others understand. So we talk about jihad, just very quick, philosophizing the idea of jihad in Islam. You could bring to yourself a definite belief how much is so beautiful this deen.
MashaAllah. We will go for a quick break. Please stay with us. We have more to say.
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Virtues of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan is the best month of the entire year according to Islam. It has many virtues that Muslims should benefit from. Do not lose the chance of this blessed month and join Dr. Haytham Al-Haddad in his program Virtues of Ramadan.
Ramadan is a very unique opportunity for all of us. It is a very unique occasion for all Muslims all over the world. We are going to discuss certain issues related to Qiyamul Layl and how to observe the night prayer. We are also going to speak about Zakah, inshallah. We are going to speak about Sadaqah.
Virtues of Ramadan in Ramadan on Huda TV.
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Welcome back. We would like to ask Professor Muhammad Naim Saie, the Professor of the Islamic Law and its Science in the American Open University and School of Sharia. Now you have talked and mentioned about the benefits of learning of the philosophy of the Islamic law and how beautiful it is. So what's next? What is your plan for the next step?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now let us prepare ourselves to start our very special journey to see this Sharia, this Islamic law, from a very special angle, so you are able to see it as a general look, and you'll be amazed before you get to the details of this special, amazing park of the Islamic law. First of all, we can say that the whole purpose of this Islamic law, when you say that the purpose of the manual book of any luxury car, keep this car in its highest shape and make it at the best condition to be at the service of the owner of this car. The purpose of the whole Islamic law, being able to serve the whole mankind and to bring to them the very special true happiness, the happiness here in this life and the happiness hereafter. The purpose of Islamic law, to make sure that nothing will be able to prevent this goal to be achieved, and make sure that every things might be helpful to achieve that goal to be acceptable and lawful under the umbrella of the Islamic law. They conclude the purpose of the Islamic law of, they say it in Arabic language, جلب المصالح ودرء المفاسد, bring goodness, prevent bad things or badness, by keeping the minimum requirement for the human being to survive in this life, and not just to survive, but to be able to carry on the mission Allah has created him for. When Allah sent down Adam and Eve to be the Khalifa, the Caliph, to be the representative of His law subhanahu wa ta'ala in this earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah equipped the human being himself by everything he needs to make that mission not impossible mission, possible mission, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent with this human being the manual book to help him to achieve that goal. He's able to be the worshipper of God here, to be the one who is building up this earth, spreading every good meaning, helping others to understand this mission, and prepare him to be saved in the day of judgment. Happiness here, happiness there, inshallah ta'ala, is the greatest mission and purpose of the Islamic law. Islam has put in its Islamic law everything possible to make this mission as a possible mission.
And I can take from what you say that if we look to any country, any organization, any company, we will see that each one of them has its own rules and its own laws. And to be successful, everybody has to follow these rules.
Yes.
So why would people think that Allah, the God, will create human kind without any rules to follow if they want to be successful in this life? Am I correct about this?
Yes, exactly, because this is like a misunderstanding the nature of the human being, the nature of the mission Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent human being to this earth, some kind of misunderstanding of the purpose of our life in general. So if you know what our mission in this life, what we are equipped for, What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us subhanahu wa ta'ala is very logic combination. You are a very well equipped person, human being. Your book, your manual book, your law, very well equipped with everything to make your mission successful one in this life. So we will be able, inshallah ta'ala, to be successful one here. So you'll be happy. We'll talk about the meaning of happiness later on, because we have some kind of they call it relatively definition of the happiness. Does not come all the time as a perfect definition. So to be happy here in this life and to be saved hereafter, inshaAllah ta'ala. So no wonder Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates us to carry on that mission, so we are able to accomplish that mission successfully, peacefully, with pleasing Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and even satisfying our own need, as we talk in the future, inshaAllah ta'ala.
Any law, when you open a book of law, you will find its content of parts and chapters, and under the chapters there are terms, and it's categorized and it's organized in a certain way. Is the Islamic law the same way, in a way or another?
Yeah, if you are amazed by visiting any, they call it museum park in this world, Disneyland or Magic Mountain, you'll be very happy and will be very amazed by the way they design, they customize, they organize this park. The Islamic law is in highest level of that, because made by Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very well organized, very well designed, very well equipped, as we said just short time ago. So the first thing you will notice in this Islamic law, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it to be categorized in two categories. You'd like to say it two sections? It is okay, inshallah ta'ala. It's very noticeable categorization, very noticeable sections in Islam or Islamic law. First section, something dealing with you, how to organize, how to rule your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you are a worshipper, you're the servant of God, you are created by Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islamic law should not, and it did not ignore this fact. The second section is how to organize and rule your relationship between you and others. In the level of the family, the level of neighborhood, the level of the state, level of the international relationships, in the time of war, in the time of peace, everything. So that second section will deal with these issues. They call it mu'amalat. Means organizing, ruling your relationship, your actions, your practice with others. First section, organizing, ruling your practice and your actions with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you will be amazed if I talk now what is the most significant maybe attribute of the first section and the second section, how it did come together in the Islamic law to serve the first goal we have talked about. La ilaha illallah. We said another noticeable things. The Muslim scholars, the Muslim jurisprudence, they used to talk about this in many occasions, in many books. We have something they call it huququllah, the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Most likely you find it in the first section, the section of ibadat, worshipping, organizing your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second section they call it huquq al-ibad, the right of people, which you find it most likely in the second section of mu'amalat, how to organize and rule a relationship with others. And some people, for the first maybe look, they might think that, oh, huququllah, right of Allah, right of people, that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala need to be served. And His right is very most important. So we have to do our best to please Him through giving Him His rights subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is like a pure rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as if Allah does need something like this, azza wa jal. And the other section, this is our right, the right of people. But you will be amazed, and everyone will be amazed when he look deeply. And the deeper he goes in this Islamic law, he'll find out that first section is being set up to be at the service of the second section. The first section of Huququllah, al-ibadat, the whole ibadat, the whole section of worshipping, the whole section of Huququllah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being organized and is being set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be serving the goal and purpose of the second section, and together to serve the whole section of bringing happiness to you in this life and make you safe in the day of judgment. Just very little example.
That's very deep. That's very deep, mashallah. So from what you say, to worship Allah better, I will find myself by default have a good relationship with others, because if I have the right conscience and I obey Allah in all matters, I'll find myself, my relationships with others will be better. So what do you think about those who just worship Allah and they do all the actions of worshipping, like ibadat, like praying, fasting, Ramadan, all this kind of things, but at the same time they lack this relationship with others? Is that a mistake or something wrong in the Sharia, or it's something wrong in their way of applying their way of worshipping?
Well, again, this is coming out of shortage of knowing this deen, knowing this Islamic law. If we said that the first section is to serve the second section, and every part of the first section to serve the purpose of the whole first section, the same thing, every part of the second section to serve the purpose of the whole second section, and together to serve the purpose of being in this life, to make us able to accomplish our mission successfully, peacefully, here and hereafter. This kind of separation between the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right of people, separation between or disconnecting the section of ibadat from the section of muamalat, the section of ruling our relationship with others, is the first and remarkable sign of being in this time as a backward ummah. We become a very civilized, ahead of other nations long time ago, because that understanding that we understand as a Muslim ummah long time ago, that you cannot separate between being good prayer, you pray good, and being a good seller. You cannot disconnect between being good imam at your mosque, good imam at your maybe lecture in the Islamic activity, and being good husband inside your home. You have to make that connection. You have to make that combination. You have to utilize, and this is the purpose of the, as I said, the first section. What the purpose of being in the masjid or fasting, praying? We'll talk maybe more and more about that.
Inshallah. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. And we would like to thank Professor Muhammad Naim Saie, the professor of the Islamic Law in the American Open University, the School of Sharia. Thank you for being with us and share with us your knowledge. And inshallah, we will meet again next time. So please watch us, and there is a lot of things to say. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
It's more than just coincidence. You look around and see the earth, the moon, the sun, and the sky. A beautiful creation of Allah. So how could you deny?
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar. How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.